Welcome again to my show, Get Celebritized. And I'm so excited today that you could join in, whether you're watching or listening on the podcast airwaves. Today is a very exciting day because I have on the beautiful, the gorgeous, the just immaculate, successful businesswoman, Kristina Shea. She's been featured on CNBC. She is the founder of BlueSkys Life, leading expert in CBD, which we all know is all the rage right now. What is the CBD? How can it help? Does it help with illnesses? Does it help with beauty and longevity and energy? I know I want the scoop. So don't go anywhere because not only that, she is a professional burnout coach. Have any of you recently experienced burnout? I know we're still coming out of this pandemic, and burnout is a thing. Pivoting is a thing. And she's got some real great tactical answers. And that's what she's doing right now as well. And I love this. She is a hope dealer. So hang on to your hat, go grab a friend, listen up, because I am bringing on right now the beautiful, immaculate friend of mine, Kristina Shea. Kristina, welcome.
Thank you. I need you to introduce me everywhere I go. I love that.
Well, I mean every word, Kristina. And if anybody's listening on podcasts, you've got to go see Kristina in person because she does emulate the beauty industry and the benefits of taking care of yourself inside and out. So go look at it on YouTube. Go find it on my channel because she's absolutely. Do you mind? I'll ask your age because you absolutely don't look it. How old are you, Kristina?
I just turned 50, the big 50. So I never thought, when I was young, I thought that was old, and now I feel
still young.
Yeah, I feel I have another maybe 60 years to go. So
of course you do.
I have less than half. I'm less than halfway.
That's you are. I always think of Betty White. Betty White, what, 99, and still, feeding grizzly bears and doing television way into her 90s. So you're still a baby. You're still young. And I love that you're in this industry of beauty, CBD, hope, burnout, because that is what people need right now. We need hope. We need to get through this and come out the other end, because people think that, okay, we're filming this right now in the very end of 2022, and we're still having residual scars. Our kids are having scars from education, our teachers, our nurses. So many entrepreneurs and people have had to pivot, reinvent. Burnout, I could see even happening going way into 2023 from all the pivoting, all the having to, rack our brains for people that have lost jobs or their job is no longer relevant and they don't know what to do. So let's start with, tell us what you're doing now, because then I want to backtrack and show the viewers and listeners what could have stopped you and why it didn't. So Kristina, tell us about this BlueSkys Life that you're doing.
That's a great question. So during the pandemic, I was laid off from my position. I was a VP of a life science company that actually was in the cannabis space. And I always wanted to do and create a women's line. And BlueSkys, I named it because it is my talisman. It's really about hope and dealing hope and limitless life and optimism. And, during the pandemic, we really saw the blue skies because there wasn't a lot of traffic and so on. So I really wanted to create a line that was sustainable with that in mind, but also had elevated women in particular, both men and women. But I really have a focus on women. So I wanted to bring wellness back into the conversation. Burnout, I experienced burnout years ago when it wasn't really a trendy word, but I think it's so important for women to reprioritize self-care. Mm-hmm. And I know we have a lot of woo-woo talk, and that's okay, self-love, self-care, but those things are really important, in taking time to reflect, take care of yourself, to reset, rejuvenate, because you've got one body to live in. And there's no replacement, right? No, so we have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't pour into our own cup, we're not going to be able to pour into our children. We're not going to pour into our career. So I really wanted to create products that would help women feel beautiful inside and out.
Well, Kristina, I have to stop you for a second, because you said something. I really want the women to hear this as well. You were a VP at a corporation that did cannabis, right? Is that what you're saying? So you left corporate, and I know so many of my listeners and viewers, they dream of that day they can leave corporate. So I really want them to hear that you came from there. You left during the pandemic. Is that correct?
Yes, I left during the pandemic. There was multiple reasons, which I can
okay. But here's the problem, though. Most people, think, I'll leave corporate, I'll leave my business, and I'll go, invent my own product and do my line. But you were doing it successfully. So I want them to hear now, going from, I want to leave corporate, left corporate, and now you do have a successful line. Give us those pieces that connect that together so they can learn from you.
Well, that's a great point and a great question. I mean, a lot of people have these big dreams and right, but you actually have to put them into action and really sometimes have a roadmap too of what you want to do. And you go back to your purpose and your why first. Why are you doing this? And then, roadmap out really what's going to take. And it takes money, it takes time. And believe me, it's going to take 10x everything. I talk a lot about 10x, but
Yeah.
it's going to 10x everything that you thought. I have to say, you don't know everything that you're going to get into. You're going to have a lot of bumps on the way, but really it's about being tenacious and, sticking to your guns and sticking to it. Now, you might still keep a side hustle while you're doing something like that. There's always
Oh, yeah.
realities, but at the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself and what you're doing. And yeah, you're going to have a lot of hiccups. So honestly, it was just for me being tenacious. And I just thought this is something I've always wanted to do. I kind of did dip into my savings. I'll be honest, I'm bootstrapped. I did this all on my own. I did not get loans. I did not get investments or anything like that.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely does take some capital to do things like what I just did, but there's always options. There are things that you can do that are not maybe as expensive or require some capital, but really what it is believing in yourself. Write a business plan. And even if that business plan is going to totally detour next year or 6 months, start with something, start with your why, start with what your brand is and start building that out. And then, have a roadmap and forecast and how you're going to actually approach your business. So I think that business plan is really key. One mistake I did make in the very, very beginning was I did have a business partner. And I'm going to say to everyone out there, it is harder to get out of a business partnership than it is a marriage. Okay. So be very cautious. I could do a whole episode on that. But I would say, do strategic alliances first versus going into partnerships right away.
Great advice.
Because sometimes a friend is not a good partner. So
yeah, exactly. You got to be careful. And Kristina, I want to dive even a little deeper because again, you're speaking everybody's language. Everybody has a dream. Everybody's got motivation, a why. Great. Okay, now they're doing a business plan. But it always intrigues me because I have never done this particular thing that you've done, going from an idea to now having a real life product. I think about other people that now there's this product. Do you make it in China? How do you develop it? How do you design it?
Okay.
Is it you just white label it? So let's talk about that because I know a lot of people have that idea.
That's a great question because there's so many options. Yes, you can. I do not personally do anything in China, just not my, I might source some packaging and so on, but otherwise, no, everything I do is sourced in.
Show that product. You have the product.
Yeah, so this is my serum.
Packaged. Where did you make it? How did you develop it?
So I do have a science degree in cannabis, actually. So it's always interesting. Yeah. So, and I have a science background in addition to business and all of that. So I have a very eclectic, I guess, skill set. But I also did hire formulators, and they're high-end formulators that work with the big companies that you know of, like Sephora and so on. So I wanted to make sure that I had products that have shelf life, but also, are quality. So this is my clay mask.
Now, wait a minute. You said you hire. We're gonna do the step because I know people really want to know this. You hired some formulators. How do you hire a formulator? Where do you find that? You're in the business. I love that you have that degree, but let's say somebody maybe doesn't have that degree, but they're in this business. They've got some wherewithal and they need to hire somebody to make this. Where's the first step?
Well, that's a great question. Honestly, it took me months and months to find the people that I wanted because I really went through a whole gamut of interviews and trying to find the right fit. It's really doing a background check on and making sure that they have the experience, that they have quality products, make sure that they do not have any, complaints or, allegations against them.
Are you Googling these people? Like you Googled?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I Googled, but I also, I did my research and I followed up with, clients that they had, for example. And, sometimes I would just Google them and go randomly call. And I would also ask for references. And because the ones I really did land on were American, like I wanted to deal only in the United States because I wanted to do everything manufactured. I believe in producing where we are. I want quality product. I want traceable product. So these things are really, really important.
Products.
Yeah, they're all U.S. verified hemp and they're made in a GMP.
Trace where they're being actually grown from. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So everything is grown in the United States. Everything is manufactured in the States. Everything is packaged in the United States.
Okay.
So, and then distributed in the United States. So I personally don't, I know there's drop shipping that you can do, things like that.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. However, I would be very wary about dealing with certain, like in China, for example. I mean, there's
Right.
supply chain issues, but also quality issues. So if you're doing anything that actually is ingestible or on the skin or
Yeah.
anything like that, I mean, it's different from maybe perhaps other products. But I really do believe that you have to do your research. It took me a long time. My best advice would be is, go boots on the ground. Go visit them too, because you can
Yeah.
talk to these people. I did everything on Zoom at first, and that's how then I went to Florida, and I went all over around the states, actually interviewing different ones. But I wanted to see the facilities.
Okay.
And I wanted to, inspect them and myself and see for myself. So I think boots on the ground is one of the most important things. A lot of companies never even visit the facilities, even big companies, they,
Yeah.
rarely go in. And, I also want to make sure that my products are made ethically, not only with sustainable, like these are recyclable products, they're glass, like, or packaging, sorry, and plastic. There are plastic some, but they are recyclable and recycled.
I love
So
that.
material. So I don't want to be contributing to the landfill. So I also think about that. But a lot of places in, say India, China, they have, underage workers. They are, they're not ethically
Or
employing
they test
people.
on animals. You don't
Yeah.
test
So
on,
in
yeah.
tasting on animals, all my products are vegan,
Okay.
gluten free,
Love that.
pesticide free, paraben free.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, so they're clean. So that was really very important to me too. And working with a formula that would understand that they can, do that with me, and that those are priorities for me to have my products really walk their talk, so to speak. So that is really essential. So make sure whatever you're doing, do your research, go boots on the ground.
Mhm.
Cost is an issue, obviously, because you have to, create the formula, you have to do all that. Now, white labeling is another issue, or another option as well.
Right.
But again, make sure you have boots on the ground. Make sure you
'Cause you're
decide
responsible at the end of the day if your
you
label's
are.
on it, for
Your name
sure.
is on it, exactly.
And
So
Christine, I like that this is in your wheelhouse because you said you were the VP pharmaceuticals, you've done this type of thing. So you're in your wheelhouse. You didn't just go totally left field. So the people that are listening and watching as well, take your industry and do this. So if you've got an expertise, you got some wherewithal, this is your wheelhouse. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. Christine, I love that you do this. And I think people, what do you think? We'll pay that extra amount to have it clean, recyclable, made in America. Are you finding that you're getting a really good community of people that will pay extra for that? Or is it even that much more to have that? It sounds like it would be, but I know people like myself, we don't mind paying more when we know it's, I don't want to say better. Let's just say it better. It's a better product.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then also knowing your customer profile or the desired customer that you want to. So I engage with women and men, I guess. They are men that buy my products, but
Of
that
course.
really value. Yeah, there are some, and I want to expand on that. But really that you are targeting those customers that have the same values. And I think a lot of it is about education. So understanding that when you put stuff on your skin, up to 60% of that is absorbed into your bloodstream. So when you think
Yeah.
about that long term, cancers,
Hmm.
even dementia, just plain old skin irritation and
Yeah.
breakouts and all of that. So there's a lot more to it. So even if you don't see it face value, it's going into your system. Just
I've
like
heard that when I had
yeah,
cancer, it was like we were cautious of everything that went on our body because your skin is your largest organ. And that's when I
yes.
went like detox, the whole 9 yards. So
That's exactly what
wow,
happened to
I learned
me
a lot.
because yeah, exactly. Because when I got really sick too, I burnt out. Like I literally collapsed in the financial district from stress because I was
Oh my
from
gosh.
marketing background as well. Yes, literally off the escalator. It was
Gosh.
quite dramatic. So my skin started manifesting all the internal issues that were
Mm,
going on in my body, and I started breaking out. I had eczema, I had hives, I had everything, and I was literally embarrassed to show my face. And so that ate up my confidence, my self-esteem, and it was just a really hard time in my life. And so I started discovering new alternatives for pain and so on, because I was despite the skin, I was internally having a lot of issues. I was diagnosed with a brain cyst, and I also almost had a stroke on the way to the hospital because
my
yeah,
gosh,
I
Christine, how long ago was this? I mean, you just look
this
perfect.
is quite a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe close to 10 years. I'm trying to really remember now. I'm not so good with that, but it's
That's
been a
fair. And
while.
that's what turned you on to CBD. Is CBD part of this? All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Well,
So
I want to hear about the
exactly.
products. Go ahead.
Yeah, so honestly, that's not I didn't find it at all. First, it was before it was like a trending thing,
Right.
and it wasn't really accessible at that time easily. And I didn't really know anything about it. So I had lumped it in with, marijuana or pot or whatever. And so I had been
Which is also medicinal, because when I had chemo, they were trying to give me that in pill form to stop the nausea. The only
yes.
thing that happened is I was now dizzy and throwing up. But things work for different people. Whatever it takes during
Yeah.
chemo and
Yeah.
cancer, whatever it takes, use it.
Yes,
It's
and
no
THC,
fun.
well, I could get into a whole conversation THC versus CBD, which they probably gave you THC, which gives you the
You're trying
munchies
to give
and
me
so on. It
anything.
helps with nausea. But so CBD is non-psychoactive, but essentially what happened is I was given a lot of painkillers, and it was destroying my life in another way, because not only was I addicted to these
Yeah,
painkillers, I was going up and I was going down, and I was taking things for pain. So I was just living my life in kind of like a big
nothing good
blur.
about that.
Yeah, and I was a single mom, and I'm trying to look after my daughter. So one night I had a friend, she came over to help me with, making dinner for my daughter. And I literally had an ice pack like on my head because I had such a migraine, sitting in the dark. And she comes in and she goes, you know what? You got to do something different. Like, 'cause I've been existing like this for quite a while now. And I had declined to have surgery because there was a lot of risks were involved with that at the time. So she said, why don't you try cannabis? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what kind of mother do you think I am? I said, I don't do drugs. And she goes, what are you, crazy? She got mad. She just like, my
The
whole
doctor's
bedside.
giving you drugs, you know.
Yeah. So because my bedside table was full of, painkillers and prescriptions. So she literally just swiped them off my table, and she goes, you do drugs right now. And I said, oh my God, I never, and it just like was this aha moment, and it just sort of clicked with me. So I was like, wow, she's right. So maybe I should try. So I thought, I'll try. But I'm not into smoking. I've never been into anything like that. I didn't really feel smoking was a good way to get well. Not
Right.
for me personally. I'm not saying it's, it does have a quick uptake and it can work for other people. It just wasn't my thing. So I discovered CBD oil, and that's where I started. So
Okay.
it helps with inflammation. It helped with my
Sure.
anxiety of having the pain. And it did reduce the amount of prescription drugs that I had to take quite significantly. And, I can't attribute this to CBD wholly, but the cyst has shrunk quite a bit. So now it's quite manageable. So I do not, yeah. So it's,
Do the doctors acknowledge this, that your self-help helped your cyst?
and there was a lot of other things. I also, was starting to manage my stress levels, and yeah, I go through valleys, ups and downs, of course, like everyone.
The package
However,
deal.
it was definitely something that I feel helped with keeping me calm and reducing a lot of the other things, that inflammation and a lot of other things we don't even know about yet, because there's still
Sure.
a lot of studies going on. So then, because my face was, manifesting all this stress, all this sickness, it was just all coming out. And I was literally, as I said, embarrassed to show my face. So, I had all this, I don't really wear foundation now, but I used to wear tons of it.
Gosh, your
And
skin is so perfect. I hope everybody will watch this, because your skin is glowing.
oh, well,
Holy
thank you. That means a lot, because it didn't look like that. I wish I had before pictures, but I avoided pictures almost at all costs at
Did
that
you?
time. Yeah. So I had the CBD oil sitting on my table, and I was like, you know what? I'll just use this, because I was trying to get this all makeup off. And so I used that to take all this makeup off. And I mean, not a very cost effective way of doing it.
No.
I did, after a couple of weeks, I was using it, and I was like, oh my gosh, my
So you
skin.
put the CBD oil on your skin instead of like ingesting the tincture oils.
Yeah. So with this one that I had was like pure oil. So I had started putting it all over my skin just to take off the makeup. And I discovered that it actually, like, I couldn't figure anything else that was different that I was doing, and my skin was clearing up. So I was like, So I started making concoctions at home and so on. And so I always had a dream of making a line. And when I was working for this company, I always wanted to we had a totally different packet or product. We had a delivery system that was different. It was a oral thin film. But I always wanted to do something for women specific that was about wellness, and something that would really, embrace women and help them feel, as I said, beautiful inside and out. Because when you don't feel beautiful on the outside, and this, Aurea,
Yeah.
or the inside, it goes both ways. If you don't feel good
Yeah.
on the inside, you don't feel good on the outside. It's like this constant cycle. And so you start to get, depressed, your self-worth goes down, your esteem
Yeah.
and confidence. And I really want women to step into their skin with confidence. When I say that, it's not just literally, but it's figuratively as well, with vitality, with energy. And so I've developed other products that are coming down the pipeline, of course, which we can talk about later. But that's really how it all happened, and how I discovered CBD. And, I was working for the banks when I actually was burnt out. And it's a hardcore industry. I did
Yeah.
enjoy a lot of it, don't get me wrong, and I do love many things about corporate, but I was working myself to death, literally.
Yeah.
And pushing myself to extreme limits. So I do talk about stress, sleep, and skin. I call them the three S's, because your skin is a reflection of your health, to be honest.
Right.
So, and a lot of that's affected by stress and sleep. And
Sure.
then, and then all of those things also help, they kind of can wreak havoc with your mindset, right? So if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're too stressed out, which can lead to burnout, and then everything is reflected often in your skin. If you're looking tired, your breakouts, whatever. So there's all sorts of things really to consider. So those are my three S's, and
Okay.
I use that as a guideline for my health. But I like to educate people on that because it's really quite straightforward and
Right.
simple, and then you can put all of these into action.
I wanted to ask you something. Just look at this. I just had an idea, which you probably already do it because you were kind of talking about me, what I've been through, because I've been through the cancer ordeal. Do you take this in and help women going through chemo? Because I remember when I was going through chemo, the cancer was curable, but the chemo almost killed me. Not only are you bald, you're sick, you're dizzy, your skin can dry out. Women that have to have radiation is a whole nother ballgame on the skin and the rashes. Could you, or do you do any kind of support to that end? Because I think that would be so needed and such a great thing to do. Because that's like when women were, not that life isn't hard enough as we age or we turn 40 or we go through menopause. You throw that into the mix, and now we're like, all bets are off, feeling beautiful. You just want to, make it through the day.
I
What's your
totally
thoughts on
understand.
that?
I love that idea. I mean, I would like to reach out to some of these organizations, and I don't know any specific groups yet. Maybe you can assist me with that.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
there's nonprofits, and you could easily even just go to your chemo wards and talk to them about making them feel better. Because I remember back in the day when I did Mary Kay, I'd go in after I was done going through my ordeal and do satin hands on them, and they would let me come in. You're not selling anything; you're just letting them experience. The sales will come if they like what you do, but you really go in to serve. You go in to make them feel beautiful, make their skin feel soft, and then you'll meet people. They'll get to know you, and it just can be really a beautiful thing. But just find where people are getting chemo. See if you can come in and do, whether it's just like a little hand treatment or something, a foot treatment, just to make them feel good. And maybe even do it to the caregiver, because the caregivers are going through a lot as well, just making them feel a little less stressed.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned the caregivers, because, that's really, I think they are the foundation, and I would say, the advocates, obviously, for anybody who has cancer or anybody who's ill for that matter. And I'm going through that with my
Yeah.
mother. But I love that idea, and I would love to be able to somehow support those causes. And that's one of
Love
the
to talk.
groups yeah. So totally, I'd be up for
All
that.
right.
I have a product called Queen of Creams as well, which
Ooh, I can't wait to help.
and I incorporate not just CBD. So it's hemp CBD, and I also have, like, shea butter, green tea, hyaluronic acid, apple stem cell. So there's other
Ooh,
ingredients
apple
in
stem
there.
cell.
Yes, apple stem cell.
Have your website up. So if people are listening on a podcast, it's Blue Skies Beauty, and Blue Skies, Skies is SKYS beauty.com. So blueskysbeauty.com. And I want to talk about one of your products. I know you're really excited about your gummies, but before we do this, you're very successful in your business. You're moving and grooving. It's not an easy feat to come up with a product line, especially one that's this well done, this clean, made in America, a lot into it. And you're talking about the destructive power of stress. But Kristina, you've been a widow twice before you turned 44. If anything could derail a woman, that one time being a widow would do it. And you've been through it twice. Talk to us a little bit about what that was like and how you got through it. And I think you said something about your daughter being part of this. Tell us a little bit about how many kids you had when this was happening.
Well, I was young widow, so it was devastating. I can't sugarcoat it, to be quite frank,
Yeah.
and it almost broke me. But my first husband, he was 29 when he passed away, and it was with a really awful motorcycle vehicle accident. He was hit. I don't want to get graphic, but he was hit by a
Right.
truck. So
Oh
I
my
literally identified him not in whole pieces,
God.
yeah.
Okay.
So it was pretty brutal, and
How old were you?
I
He
was
was 29.
24. So, you see someone, and, they don't have, I don't want
No.
to get too graphic, but, the face that used to smile at you can't,
Mm.
it was quite awful. So it was a lot of trauma, and I couldn't stay in my home anymore. And I remember watching them all move my belongings out. And I was, I came from a home that was rather broken. So I didn't really have anywhere to go.
Were
Uh,
you children at that time, or you were just brand new married?
Sorry, was I what?
Did you have any children with him at the
No,
time?
my first husband, no, we were planning to have children too. So it broke my heart because I was like, oh my gosh, we were planning to have children. I had been with him for 9 years. So I'd known him since I was 15 years old. So when he passed away, I really didn't even know who I was.
Right.
You had the identity because we were together for so long. And that was a big part of my healing. But when they were moving all my stuff out, that's why BlueSkys has always been my talisman. I just lied like on this strip of grass in the parking lot, feeling
Okay.
broken. And I just looked up at this beautiful blue sky and I thought, you know what, keep going. Everything will be okay. Just keep going. So, and I know it's very simple, but just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and there's a lot of things you have to go through when, you lose somebody, because there's a lot of just legit practical things like estate issues. Even this is crazy, but the man that hit my husband, he sued my estate or our estate for trauma after. So get that. So the things that we went after. So he killed my husband. Yeah, he actually received money from the insurance company, but we
Oh
didn't.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So that's another whole
God.
segue. But my second husband, I met him when shortly after, and I'd known him for quite some time. He was a little bit older, and he's the father of my lovely daughter Chloe, and I'm so proud of her. But yeah, he had some issues, and he smoked, and he had a hard life. He did have an alcohol and cigarette issue, so he did die of a heart attack very, very suddenly. It was unexpected, and we
How
had.
long were you married?
Oh gosh, I think it was 9 years. We were together 9 years as well.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Wow.
remember the exact married, like how long we were actually married, but we were probably 7 years, but we were together 9.
Okay.
So
I'm so sorry for all your losses. My goodness,
yeah, it
Kristina.
was it was like I was honestly I couldn't believe it. He had some mental issues as well. So there was a lot of problems there. It was hard. It was a hard marriage too, but he was a good man. He just, he had mental illness.
Yeah,
So there
absolutely.
was a lot to that story. But honestly, I couldn't believe it. Like when they told me that he passed away, I was like, what? You
And now
know,
you're a single mom to
yeah, I'm
add
a
to the
single
mix.
mom and like
So
I'm going through this again, but now I've got a daughter.
how
Um,
old was she?
she was, she had just turned 15.
Wow, my
So,
dad was murdered when I was 15. So I know it's like
oh
to
my gosh.
15 and lose a dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Because
was,
you grow up real quick and you try to help mom. I have a feeling she was like me to my mom, that she was there to help and support you through that. Tell me a little bit about that relationship before we move on to go
with
back
my
to,
daughter.
yes, because
Yeah,
again, I know it was
I don't
like,
we don't want to go on and on, but yeah, she was really my inspiration to keep going because I was
I
kind
love
of
that.
going down a black hole, but I could even visualize I'm like going down a black hole, but I'm like, my daughter is my motivation. Keep going, just climb out of that hole. And
Amen.
without me, who she got? She's got nobody, right?
Right.
So that is really, she's grown up to be a beautiful young lady. And honestly, that is all my purpose poured into her. And so I have to say, I didn't really grieve for myself immediately because I was so busy looking after her and
That's what
really making
moms
sure
do.
she was okay. Because it is very traumatic for not only myself, but for a young girl to. And that was the worst moment in my life, was telling her that her father was never going to see her.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
honestly never wish that on anyone. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And the same year that my husband died, my father died too.
Oh,
So it
Kristina.
was quite a year of loss. But you know what? At the end of the day, you also realize how wonderful life is. And you can't take anything for granted. You can't take
No.
for granted even the next breath you take. So even despite how hard things might be, you have to find something to be grateful for, right?
And
And find the beauty in it. And
yeah, and what I'm noticing, Christine, too, you said some really profound things here as well, because you went through that with your second husband who wasn't living a healthy life, had some issues and all that. And then of course life, you know, cut short. And you're in such the opposite business. You are um into health, CBD, you're everything to keep yourself alive, everything to keep yourself healthy is so much more profound now because of what you experience. So I think that's great. Is your daughter in this with you as well?
well, she's doing her own thing. She's actually she's in criminology and psychology, and she wants to help people that have been affected by the justice system or have gone through some trauma. So that she's very much into that, but she is into CBD. Yeah, she uses my products and she swears by them.
Yeah, I'm so glad, because some people like myself, we go through cancer. Like my mom died of cancer and she was a smoker. I remember with life cut short at 59.
Okay.
And, I hate smoking. I hate all that because, it took my mom. And when I got cancer, my brother got cancer. You really learn real quick that you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. It's, we're all a diagnosis away from something making us realize what do we think we might have, tomorrow, the next. We can't procrastinate. We have to take care of the one body that we have. So I love meeting people like you, Kristina, to help us say, because I know I can get lazy at it. And if you're not in the industry and it's not part of your everyday life, it's a job. And I find that after chemo, it was a job to stay alive. It's a job now to live long life. You're just not 22 years old, just grabbing whatever you want, junk food, doing whatever you do. It's now, we got to take better care of ourselves when we do our cars. And we take usually really good care of our cars. They get tune-ups and new tires and all that. Otherwise, they're going to break down. We're not going to be able to drive them. Well, our body's going to be the same way. So with that, as we get into our last, like 15 minutes of the show, I want you to talk about some of your products because, you have bounced back. You and your daughter just are so amazing. You're strong. Nobody can give us excuses of why, well, I had this happen to me. Life will happen, but you are making the world a better place and helping women. So tell us about some of your best products. So if you're talking to me like a potential customer, what should I know about? Talk to me. I want to hear it.
So you want to know about my products? Is that
yes? Why? Why do we need them? What kind of benefits am I gonna get?
Well, okay, CBD obviously is my champion ingredient. So CBD fights inflammation, which is the root of almost all disease, right? So it's a perfect way to really reduce inflammation, joint recovery, especially if you are older and you're working out, or you're starting to feel wear and tear. It's perfect for that. But for the skin, again, because if you have stress, like pollutants, external pollutants, that could be pollution itself, but it also could be even, if you're around people who do smoke or things like that. There's a lot of things, the environment in general, and lack of sleep, because we are often, stressed out. We're not getting enough sleep. So in terms of the skin, it really helps reduce the inflammation, the redness, soothes and calms the skin. One of my products, which has the apple stem cell, which is one of my favorites. I mean, I love all of my products.
Closer. I want to see it. Bring it up to
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Raise it up a little bit. Yeah, it's beautiful packaging.
Yeah, so I love the blue because it's different. I mean, I didn't want to do green because I really want to go back to blue.
It's very serene. It's very, like you said, it's very peaceful.
Yeah, it's exactly calm, and it calms the skin, like literally. And it helps
blue is the color of trust. Blue, because I'm in the news and media.
Yes.
Blue is the color of trust. That's why the news uses blue, because they want you to trust them that they're giving you the truth.
Exactly. And I know I was from banking, so it was always like royal blue. So mine is a bit more optimistic.
Oh, it's a happy blue.
It's a happy blue. And so this is another one, but this is rose. I think it's rose. Yeah. No, this one is tea tree, but tea tree, CBD, and squalane. So then again, this helps with inflammation, helps fight fine lines. It gives you that nice dewy glow. I put this on earlier.
I can see that.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. And this one has tea tree, which also is antibacterial. And so is CBD, is antioxidant. It really does help, I would like to say I'm growing younger, but
yes,
I also
Yes, yes, you are.
So are you. So is everybody, if you just take care of yourself. So growing younger gracefully as well. So, I don't like to say anti-aging because we are aging or else we're dead. So it's not a choice. So these are the products. I also have a French green clay mask, which also detoxes the skin. This one doesn't actually have CBD in, but I combine it with another oil, which I don't have with me. But
I love that. It's beautiful. You do a beautiful job. Just go. I can't wait. I got your website up again, BlueSkysBeauty.com. What about the gummies you're so excited about?
I'm so excited about these.
Had me at gummies.
Yeah, because I love gummies. Now, these are not a candy, like they're not as sweet as a candy because I didn't want too much sugar. There is some sugar to take away, because cannabis does have, or CBD does have a little bit of a taste, but they are no artificial colors, no artificial flavor. So they're all natural.
I know. So what are the gummies for? Is it a vitamin? What is it?
Yeah, it's like a supplement essentially. So it really does help with calm. So I've called it, I don't know if you can see this here, calm.
Oh, okay.
So it does give calm, but it also helps with inflammation. So even stress. So a lot of us, when we're going through, bouts of stress or burnout, if you're actually there, you're having cortisol and all sorts of stress juices, I call them. I could do a whole episode on that, but coursing through your veins, it does cause inflammation inside your body as well. And CBD does help that. Now I'm doing tinctures as well soon, but these are convenient because they're not messy. You can throw them in your purse. They're nice. I take one every night. They're 25 milligrams, no artificial color, no artificial flavor. They're vegan friendly, gluten free, all of that. I don't have my glasses on, but
you have some kind of program. Are they, the next question we're going to ask, well, how much are they? They affordable? They actually, we know they're made in America. So they like over the top expensive, or tell us how that works.
These are really affordable in my opinion. I'm having a special right now. Don't quote me here, but I think I have 3 jars. There's 30 counts in this jar, and 30 counts, and I think it's $29.99 for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Very
I price
affordable.
them affordably because I want people, and I talk about beautiful inside out because you need your sleep, you need your calm.
Yeah.
So if you're not feeling calm or getting your sleep, you're not going to feel good. So really feeling beautiful is more than skin deep. So that's why I'm going to be launching more nutraceuticals, but this is my champion right now. And I love this. I use this. I've been like so excited about this because I've been, working on this for quite a while now. So I really, and you can buy 3 of these for 77. I have this promotion for during the holidays,
Yeah.
77. I think it's 77.77.
And I just signed up for your email and you get automatic 20% discount. So lots of good ways. And I know it depends on when they listen to this. It might not be the holidays when they're listening or watching the shows. That's great. Just go to blueskysbeauty.com, see what's going on. I love that you do this. I also want to ask you 2 questions here. One, the business side. If somebody is really loving this and like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to be in the CBD industry. I want to work in this industry. Do you have a company that hires people or has investors? Can they get involved with this at all? Or is it
I
not?
would be happy to invite investors to my company, of course. And if you wanted to work with me, I'm looking for people really to help elevate the business. So business development. I have, I want to, really get these products into resorts and spas. So if you're looking in for
Awesome.
sales or anything like that, I'm also building out an affiliate program. So even as, an influencer or, you're just a regular mom that wants to say, because I don't want to have a glass of wine. Maybe we should have, I'm going to take one right now, a gummy. So
I never was.
I wish I could hand these over to you.
I know. She's eating one in front of me, people. This isn't fair. All right. Well, I have to order my own, and I will. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
So
I
the
can't
affiliate
wait for you to
program is
try
great.
them.
We talk about that in my coaching programs. Affiliate programs are amazing because the average person cannot go out and do what you did. They don't have the science degree, the chemistry degree. They don't have the time or the wherewithal to do any of that. You've done it. So it's not a direct selling company, but the affiliate program is great, or the marketing, getting into some spas. So if you're listening or watching and you live near spas and you love this industry, the beauty, the CBD, the health, wellness, consider, going to blueskysbeauty.com. Kristina, can they get a contact information on Blue Skies Beauty?
Yes,
You personally?
you can contact me. I think it's rainbows@blueskys.com, or you can even reach me directly. I'll give you my direct email here, Kristina with a K at BlueSkys Life.com. Okay, so BlueSkys Life, but it's on the website. And if
Perfect.
you're curious why I spelt it with a Y, because everybody's like, oh, you spelled that wrong. And I'm like, because it is all about your why. So it's about your purpose. And for
Nice.
me, it was really to help build healthy, wealthy women and for women to step into their skin with confidence. But yeah, if you work for a spa or you are in the spa industry too, I also have, this is not labeled yet because I'm still working on this, but this is massage oil too with CBD. So this is coming soon. It's almost done. So it's dropping. It's actually might even be on the website, but for pre-order, but we're just getting all the packaging ready. So I'm super excited. I forgot my packaging with me, and I package everything in little satin bags, which I wish I.
Packaging is everything. You don't have to look for it. That's all right. Victoria's Secret. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Victoria's
I'm
Secret
trying to
always
say.
said women love packaging. That's why they wrap all of our undergarments in tissue paper, put in a bag with a bow, because the packaging is everything for women.
Yeah, so I don't want to kill more trees, so I'll be honest. So I try to avoid using too many boxes. So I wanted to do something that you could reuse again. So this could be a jewelry bag, it could be your skincare bag, whatever. And we're going to be doing a new batch of these too with affirmations, beauty affirmation quotes on the side too.
Nice.
So, yes.
Kristina, I love it all, love it all, love it all. It's very trendy. It's very hot right now. And I don't think the trends go anywhere, because anytime you find something that's healthy, that helps you, that's from the earth, that's from, because we know that marijuana hasn't gone anywhere. It's been around for centuries, right?
Centuries. The Chinese have used it.
Yes.
Indigenous. It's been around for centuries and it's been used. It's just been, unfortunately,
misused.
Bad rap.
Yeah, anything could be misused. Alcohol could be misused. So, but this is really good. I'm very excited. So my last question as we wrap up, you've been a beautiful guest. Thank you so much. Hope you've given the listeners and viewers hope that even through tragedy, you can bounce back, even through leaving corporate America and creating your own dream, your wildest dream. came true, not just by some hopes and wishes, but by real hard work, keeping that tenaciousness and finding a way of making a way and having your morals and values intact, where you wanted to keep it making America, you wanted it clean, you wanted it earth friendly, people, all the things. You just proved that it can be done. So let me give you the last two questions. One, real quick. How long from leaving corporate and having the idea to where you are right now, sitting here with me with the product, a real thing? How is that, years or months? What is that?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, at first it, had to come into my brain as an idea.
How about from idea to here? I knew you were going to do it.
From idea to here, it took me a year and a half.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Say. Because I spent about 6 to 8 months, maybe 8 months, just researching everything and trying to find the right formulator and trying to figure out, there's a lot of regulations.
So on the high end, you're talking 2-3 years, not even. You're still like probably.
This is my first. I'm just wrapping up. I'll be coming to 1 year since I launched the products.
I'm so proud of you. That's
so
give people hope. Especially women, you're giving us hope. So that's fantastic. So Kristina, on that, with all of this going forward, what is your legacy? How do you want to be remembered?
Oh, I love that question. I want to be remembered that I elevate women and empower women to be the best version that they can be, because I feel, there's still a lot of work to do in that space. And I want to build, as I said, healthy, wealthy women. So that is my vision. That is my mission. And I want to be remembered as, really a person that is brave, but also inspires others to be brave. Because when I was weak, when I felt down, people say, "Oh, you're so strong." I'm like, I don't feel strong at all, but I can be brave. And so that was my mantra that I often went with. And so I really feel we all have it in as women. We go through so much. We give birth, we work hard, we do everything for everyone else. We are extremely strong, but we are more than that. We're brave, and we do have tenacity, and we just have to work together. So I really want to be remembered as elevating women and giving women a voice, but also confidence to live their best life.
And you're doing just that. And I have a word for you for your legacy as well, is you're a trailblazer. You really help blazing the trail for women as well. We go through stuff, like you said, and we still can come out the other side. And our kids, our daughters, our sons can come out with us. Sometimes they're our strength. Sometimes we're their strength. But together we can do what I say in this podcast every single time. We can earn more, we can live more and better, thanks to you, Kristina. And so we can give back more. So Kristina, thank you so much. I'm so excited about what you're doing. I'd like to have you back in 1 year to find out where you are, because you're a success story in the making. And I want the women to really be able to follow your success. So follow Kristina Shea on all social media, because she really will, be showing that all Instagram. We know each other from Clubhouse. So find her, BlueSkys. I'm going to put that back up real quick. BlueSkysBeauty.com. I'm sure all your social media affiliates are there. And thank you, Kristina, for being here and inspiring and being one of my friends now. I absolutely adore you.
Oh, thank you so much, Aurea. That really meant so much to be on here. And I'm very honored to be on your podcast. And let's just keep bringing legacies to life.
Let's do it. So now I have to chime off because I'm going to your website because I got some things to order. So bye from now, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time on Get Celebritized. Mwah!